Welcome back, everybody, to round number 5 of the 2019 RFGP Race Factor Gaming Grand Prix Championship. My name is Kellen Brower here on Start Your Systems TV, and we have the MX1 class coming up next. Just had a very interesting end to the MX2 racing action that just went on. No further developments from that one, but this MX1 class is going to get hot and heavy very quickly. Let's go ahead and take a look at our qualifying times here for tonight. Zach Prokop taking the top honors. Actually, I should say tying for the top honors. 47.867. Prokop, Holm, tied, top of the sheets. Unbelievable stuff. Alexis Leclerc, 148 flat. Jack Haley, 149.9. So 2 whole seconds behind Leclerc. So our top 3 guys really figuring this track out well. And Blakely ends up P5. How many guys we got going to the gate right now? 27 potentially going to the gate. D-Cope dropping in. He drops off one little bitty. Just a little itty bitty bitty. And Adam Holm is your championship leader at the moment. He is 18 points up on Leclerc. Haley a distant 32 points behind Leclerc. And Blakely another 7 points behind that. Will Whiteley sits 15 points behind Blakely, so it's really divulged into kind of a two-man race for this championship. Not too dissimilar from the 250 division that we see, or that we did see, I should say, earlier on this evening. But they're about to be greeted with very technical, challenging racetrack that the 250 guys just had a really tough time getting around. The track was really eroding in heavily. A lot of ups and downs on this track makes it one of the trickier tracks that these guys have raced on for the Grand Prix circuit thus far. Here's your fastest qualifier, Zach Prokop out here. Kohenauer, Kyler Hockey, Casey Ohlert. He's going to be my versus PC one to watch. I'm just calling that right now. My man Casey Ohlert out here on the 111. C4 Designs Machine, my versus PC one to watch. We got Zach Dupuis, Jet Wisdom, Caden Speck, Adam Holm, Jeremy Siebel, Eduardo Simos, Kyle Howard, Alexis Leclerc, Caden Speck, already saw him, Mikhail Ming Woodley, Jack Haley, Robert Wilson, Ian Holm, Will Whiteley, Chase Donovan, Anthony Piccioni making his pro debut tonight and donating on the stream earlier, Tommy Dallaire for the 213 Mad Cape ride, and Caleb Hall out here tonight. Let's make Kyler Hockey our versus PC one to watch in race number 2. We'll just call it ahead of time. So I got Casey Ohlert and Kyler Hockey to keep an eye on here tonight. Special request in chat. Trevor Burns wants to see Kyler Hockey as the versus PC one to watch. Too bad Juan Pablo isn't still around here. He could literally be the Juan to watch. All right, just waiting on the call in chat for the restart. There we go. And we are about set to go racing here in Saint-Jean-d'Angely, the RFGP of France. Very interesting dynamic into this first corner where a lot of guys in the 250 division chose to line up to the outside gates and just carry a ton of speed and momentum down that start straight and use the embankment in turn 1 to get a drive up the hill. And honestly, it didn't work for many people to get the whole shot, but we'll see whether or not these 450 guys elect to do the same thing. Seems like something Leclerc may or may not have up his sleeve to try to do in this first race. We'll see where the number 1 machine is lined up here. No, actually, in the middle. Adam Holm kind of also in the middle. A lot of guys outside. Kind of a mix-up of how many open gates there are, but the 30 board goes sideways. It's the RFGP of France, and we are off and running. Leclerc and Holm technically starting side by side, but it's going to be Leclerc who gets the line and crosses the line for the Race Tech Hole Shot Award. All the while, Caden Speck out front. It is Moto 1, despite a lot of guys going down in that first corner. It looked like a bit of a train wreck through that first turn area. Oh, Leclerc and Haley get together and go down. So Leclerc gets into the side of Jack Haley, and that's going to switch up things very quickly here. Holm goes on through. He is buried back here with these guys. But leading lap number 1, Caden Speck, trying to pick up a ride right now. He is 4 higher, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're looking for a man to try to take you guys to the top, well, Caden Speck may or may not do that, as he is down on the ground with the race lead. And Zach Prokop trying to hop up by Jeremy Cohenauer for the lead. As the race host, Cohenauer now goes to the front. Cohenauer is more than just a race host, though. He is super, super fast. I believe he was 7th overall in Supercross earlier this year. Back in 2018, he won one of the Triple Crown main events at Atlanta, so he is seeing the top step of the box in his heyday here already. But he's got to try to hold off maybe the biggest revolutionary rider of the year, Zach Prokop, who has completely changed his game up and goes right to the lead. This number 38 machine has been incredible this year. The Renaissance man. Look at Cohenauer hopping over top of him. Almost made it work. Whoa! Prokop slides it into the corner and hangs on to position. Big shout out to Dalton, who just subscribed for his 4th month of being an SYS VIP. Thanks, dude. I appreciate you so much for that. That means the world to me that you keep coming on back for more. I hope you keep coming on back for years and years to come, my dear friend. Seriously, can't thank you enough. It means a ton. Back to this battle up front. Oh, Prokop has gone down. Prokop blows the corner at the bottom of the hill. And Cohenauer goes back to the lead. Jet Wisdom now moves into 2nd. And then Prokop regains the track right there with Leclerc and Holm in tow. Jack Haley right there. I think I see Devin Davis maybe on the DX3 ride coming through this teammate Chase Donovan. I saw another Honda in there. Couldn't quite make out the number though. Leclerc trying to hop down the inside. Holm goes wide and triples up the hill. He's going to have the inside and makes the move on Leclerc. So these two exchanging positions. Thus far, it looks rather cordial. So Leclerc giving chase. Holm trying to go after Prokop. And this is just an absolute freight train. We know this track is going to get rougher rather quickly. So it's kind of a mad dash to open up some free space. Oh, Prokop jumps off the track trying to make the pass. I think that's on Jet Wisdom on the 403. Holm might have an inside move on him here. Let's see. Tries not to force the issue, but Wisdom crosses back over. Holm trying to use the outside. Goes into the inside of the next corner. A little contact, just a nudge. Nothing too aggressive, and Holm will indeed make that pass. So Leclerc loses a little bit more ground to his championship combatant here, and Haley's trying to come with them. So much action going on, we almost forgot. Jeremy Cohenauer is leading this race, ladies and gentlemen. Cohenauer on the 43, a strong start. He's made the most with an opportunity that Zach Prokop presented him, and has opened up his race lead now. A little over 3 seconds by the looks of it. Prokop coming through still in 2nd. Tripling up the hill behind him. And then Holm and Leclerc. And it looks like Haley has also made the move up into 5th. Little mistake from Prokop. Holm's going to try to get a move here. Switches his lines up. Goes to the outside. That would work as the inside, but not many options at the bottom of this hill. Guys going middle or far outside that inside really never developed in the 250 races. Maybe in the 450s, we'll see. Dropping down the hill, 3 riders absolutely sending it down the hill. These are the 3 we kind of likely expected would battle for the win here today, given the qualifying times and how far above the rest of the field they basically were. Not really a surprise to me that they end up at the front early, but it is kind of surprising that they're not battling for the lead. It's still Kohenauer out front. 3 seconds up the road. Just keeping that marked. Oh, Leclerc down in the background. Clips a hay bale onto the start straightaway. Insta fall off. Haley dices on through. And Leclerc will get going behind him. That's going to cost him a lot of time. Davis trying to come in with Jet Wisdom. Chase Blakely, Casey Ullard, our versus PC1 to watch. Anthony Piccioni. Oh, Will Whiteley with a pass down the inside. Look at that cut under. Anthony Piccioni in his pro debut. Veteran move right there. But he has been crushing it in the amateur class, so not really surprised. You guys keep telling me different things. It's Piccion, it's Piccion. Is it just Piccion because we're in France and it's like Michael Piccion? Oh, Devin Davis, together with Jet Wisdom, loses a spot to Chase Blakely. And then Leclerc was down, so now all these guys stacked up together. Mikhail Pashon. Well, Mikhail Ming Woodley is who I think you're thinking of, but it's Anthony Piccion. So Blakely, Leclerc, Wisdom, then Piccion. Whiteley. Sean Smith, Casey Ullard, Devin Davis. Oh, Devin Davis and Casey Ullard going to blows right there. Ullard stays up, but now is Devin Davis's teammate, Chase Donovan, Sally Slow-Mo trying to make a really fast pass right there. Going to Disneyland with that thing. He's getting to the front of the line, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Ullard. Oh, and he's down. Off the bike as well. That's going to cost him some serious time. Here comes Devin Davis, whom he just came together with. Also in the mix right there is Tommy Dallaire. Oh, Ullard. Oh, gets together with Davis. Something's going on right there. Clearly, some frustration coming out of Davis. Back up front. Frantic action going on for the lead, and we haven't missed a single bit of it just yet, fortunately. Kohenauer leads. Prokop second, Holm third. And with Leclerc crashing out of this grouping, they have got this lead all to themselves right now. Different line option. Prokop going to try to swing wide and take the race lead away from Kohenauer. Launches to the top of the hill and into the face of the jump. New leader in St. Jean d'Angely. It is Zach Prokop. Prokop takes over the lead. Guys fighting the bike on braking right there. Kohenauer, valiant effort, led almost 9 minutes of this moto. Instead, gives it up. And there goes Holm as well to move into second. Again, kind of as expected. Those guys were 2 whole seconds and then some above everybody else in the field. Pushing those times down further and further. Only guy missing really is Leclerc, who was only about 0.3 of a second off of Prokop and Holm, who tied for the fastest lap time. And then Leclerc was 2 whole seconds ahead of Haley in the times as well. So, I mean, these guys were just absolute animals this week. Oh, Holm a little kick sideways on the drop down, but nothing really doing because Prokop is slowly opening this lead up. And Holm's got to get to work if he wants to bring this gap down before long. Almost a third of the distance through this race. Here's Jack Haley ahead of Chase Blakely and Will Whiteley. So 3 guys also battling, but for the 4, 5, 6 spots instead of 1, 2, 3. Remember, Haley and Leclerc made heavy contact on that downhill they just went through on the first lap of the race, both of them losing several positions. Leclerc more so than Haley. Leclerc did fight all the way back. He was battling for 4th, and then suddenly a couple of successive crashes have really put a dent in his parade. Now Haley's holding off Blakely, who just, I mean, he just sets up a tent and he just lives inside of the top 5. Oh, look at that move from Will Whiteley, though. Says, no sir, camper. That campfire you've set up is far too dangerous in this shrubbery. We're gonna have to move that aside, and takes over that 5th place position. One might say Blakely no longer a happy camper. Here comes Leclerc, though. So Leclerc trying to get back into the mix after some early race mistakes. 35 seconds off the race lead is the #1 machine. But he's putting the pressure now on the 16 of Chase Blakely. We're seeing a couple guys launch this wall. There it is, Leclerc sending it out there. Doesn't really gain him any time, but it looks cool, I'll admit. Pulls almost alongside Blakely on the downhill. Oh man, Blakely just pushes him to the edge of the racetrack there. Leclerc wheeling onto the start straight. This might be a spot where he'll set up a move, looks inside. Oh, just didn't get it planted in the rut, and Blakely's gonna power out around the outside. Oh, Leclerc inside. There's the move done. And now solidifies that position. Next up, he's gonna try to go after Will Whiteley. Jack Haley. Oh, Prokop's gone down out of the lead. And, whoa, actually, everything's changed up again. Kohenauer's leading once again, although he just saved a butte right there. That was almost a disaster. Oh, and in the chemistry major, Adam Holm down out of 2nd. So Prokop and Holm back to the drawing board they go. Not sure what unraveled for them. It appears crashes, though. Definitely so for Prokop. He lost a lot of ground in a very quick amount of time, so you don't do that without crashing. Unless they miss a timing gate or something silly, but pretty rare. So now the top 3 have kind of opened up their gaps a little bit. Watch out, Whiteley, where... did he not see him? Just runs into, who was that there actually? Kyle Howard, maybe? 118? Leclerc closing up on Whiteley now. Oh, guys, really struggling with traction on this track. It seems like just a little bit of ruggedness in each of these rutted corners. The deeper they get, the kind of choppier they get, and everybody's kind of dancing around lightly. Makes sense though. This track IRL, very, very rocky. See guys a lot in real life just kind of bouncing around in corners on this racetrack. Leclerc is getting tired of living right behind Chase Blakely, and someone just went flipping off the track in the background. Oh, Leclerc. A little vicious down the inside. Actually had to cut the track right there. That's not going to make Blakely any happier about his situation. So he's going to try to go back after Leclerc. Look at launching down the inside. Ooh. Frisky little attempt there from the 16 machine. Can't say I blame him. Given the situation that was just presided there by Leclerc. Oh, Holmes gone down again. So Prokop goes back by. Who would have freaking guessed right now? Jeremy Kohenauer at the halfway mark. Not only leading this thing, he's pulled away, folks. He's got a big gap going. How about it, man? Jeremy Kohenauer maybe in a pretty good position. Oh, hold on to her. All the while, Prokop and Holm deciding who wants to crash the most and still finish second, I think. Prokop is like, what is going on with these lapped riders? They're everywhere. I think that was Jet Wisdom down the inside. 3 is Mikhail Ming Woodley. Oh, he almost went through the front door right there. And just up ahead, I think Tommy Dallaire on the 213. Woodley is not moving. He wants to get around Dallaire. And he's kind of using Prokop as a bit of a pick here. And it's really holding up the 38 machine. Dallaire wisely trying to stay out of the way. Gets in the way of Prokop, though, and Holmes slides through. Woodley goes down. And finally, Prokop able to get around Speck and Dallaire, but not before the damage has been done. Holm goes through. Oh, Speck just absolutely laying the sauce down. 1 lap down or not, he is not messing around. And let the battle for second commence, because I think Prokop is none the thrilled about that lapper situation. Nothing Adam Holm could do about it. He was just taking advantage of the misfortunes. But obviously lit a fire under Prokop here. I think both of these guys are kind of like, yo, we should be winning this moto right now. What's going on? So Prokop putting the pressure on Holm. Oh man, that double in right there. They just nose high sometimes, and it never looks like it's supposed to work, but it does. Oh, look at that line. Prokop wheeling down the hill. Just trying ever so slightly to put a wheel in there. Make Adam Holm realize that he's there. It's such a tight battle, and they're so close together, you'd think something's got to happen here. The dam will burst eventually either way, whether or not Holm is able to put the pressure on Prokop to force the error, cause him to go down and open up some breathing room, or Prokop does the other way and makes Holm go down, or whatever. I don't know. Something's got to happen. Look at Prokop. He's launching down this inside, and he's using a really smooth line to get into the corner, and uses the middle, like inside middle rut, I guess. And still gets pretty much the same drive up the hill. I like that line. It looks like it's kind of saving him some sketchiness, as we got a rider down in the rollers here. Nice job to move out of the way, Ian Holm there. Oh, there it is. Holm blows the rut, and Prokop takes full advantage of it to make the move. I thought Holm might have a peek back down the inside. And another rider going down. Is that Devin Davis? Oy, rough moto for Devin Davis, and Holm and Prokop nearly getting together there. So here we are, just about to get to the 20-minute mark of this moto, and Jeremy Kohenauer is still leading this race. About 10-second lead. Oh, and Prokop, after all that work, tucks the front wheel before the finish line. Down he goes. That is Devin Davis going a lap down, so things really not going well right now for old D. Davis. Jack Haley is suddenly not too far off, although he just went down himself. He is down right there on the facing of that jumper, actually in between takeoff and landing. Then Leclerc comes through. So Leclerc losing points to Holm in the championship right now, but he is trying to reascend his way towards the field. Almost looks like Leclerc is looking a little bit friskier as the track gets rougher. I like to see it. This battle right here is for 4th. Leclerc trying to use some different lines. And scrubs down to the top of the hill. We're going to go side by side over the versus PC double. And Leclerc makes that move look easy at the end. So Leclerc now moves up to 4th. Haley back to 5th. 6th is Will Whiteley. 7th, we got Chase Blakely. 8th, on debut, Anthony freaking Piccione right here. This is insane. He is right in the mix with some of the best players in this game right now. Gonna get by Will Whiteley, who is down with Tommy Dallaire. Robert Wilson back here. Fernando Andrade, Sean Smith, Jet Wisdom, and Eduardo Simos goes by him. Chase Donovan, Kyler Hockey, Zach Dupuis. Where are we here? P16. 17th is Oler, our versus PC one to watch out of this one. The C4 Designs co-rider. Number 111. Not exactly the moto he was hoping to have. He was inside of the top 10 early on and came a little bit unglued. Ian Holm for Whip Style is 18th. Devin Davis for DX3 is 19th. And Caden Speck is for Hire, and he's 20th. "22 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock. A little over 7 minutes and 2 laps left to go. Jeremy Kohenauer knocking on the door of his first ever Grand Prix race victory. Zach Prokop and Adam Holm would like to have a word with him if they may. Adam Holm 2.4 seconds down on Prokop at the moment. God, it's so sketchy right there, them hopping through those rollers, doubling into the corner, and the last roller has a really, really big kicker in it. Home up to the top of the hill, still about 2.5 seconds down, but I wanted to go on board of them here for a little bit because I want to see how this track is deteriorating. It looks like it's getting a little less chewed out than the 250 race was. I wonder if they changed the road settings just a little bit, or whether or not these 450 guys are just a little bit better at making the line smoother and not so rough and choppy in each section. So Holm checks in at a 202.1 to a 153.5 out of Prokop. So Holm, obviously with that crash last lap, not ideal. Still making it work though. Where are we gap-wise here? 9.5 seconds? It's coming down by about a half second a lap. I mean, he's not going to catch him on raw speed, but... Oh, Kohenauer gets together with a lapper, 4:03. That was Jet Wisdom. Oh my God, look at all these lappers. What in the heck is going on right here? They're having a parade. Andrade, Sean Smith. Oh, Kohenauer goes down, up and over the bars, and gives Prokop the lead. 2 successive corners and 24 minutes of hard work is all done. Kohenauer back to 3rd behind Holm. Now let's see if Kohenauer's response here. Definitely looked like he had plenty of speed out front. And once he got back into the lead, he definitely gapped these guys. Obviously, the crashing by them helped. However, it looks like Kohenauer isn't ready to just fold over and let these guys get away. He is trying to stick with his teammate, Adam Holm, right now. and potentially close it down onto Zach Prokop, who has been thrust into the race lead with a little over 4 minutes and 2 laps left to go. Andrade and Simos, just the Power Dream guys, I mean, they just live together on the racetrack, really. They're always together. And there they are peeking down the inside as Prokop makes a bit of a mistake, makes another mistake. This is actually getting interesting here. Oh, Kohenauer's gone down again. That is going to be probably the end of his chances at winning this race, especially because there's a shark in the water behind him right now. There's the Power Dream teammates again. Adam Holm going by him. It never fails. I swear, I see every single time Simos and Andrade they're just together. They must practice together, they must ride together. Heck, maybe they live together. I don't know. I'm not going to swear to it. Well, Prokop's got this thing stretched out to, we'll just say, a tasteful lead. It's not comfortable yet. Holm is within reason of making things interesting here. And now Leclerc has moved up into third, so it's really hit the fan here for Kohenauer, who 2 laps ago was leading this race by 10 seconds. Now he sits 23 seconds behind the leader. That is just how quickly the momentum shifts in an MX Simulator race. And he's going to be kicking himself after this one. Not too many days you lead that many laps, that much of the race, and then don't even end up on the podium. But he does still have a second moto to try to make things interesting. Lapping Jet Wisdom as Jack Haley is also trying to have a peak of his own. Remember back to last week at High Point. Haley, Leclerc, Prokop, and Holm. Oh, Leclerc was down. Leclerc and Haley goes back around Kohenauer, so Kohenauer doesn't even do anything, doesn't gain or lose a spot, but Haley gets a twofer. He's up into third now. Whoa, watch out, tough block. I was just about to say, last week at High Point, those 4 riders I'm mentioning finished 1 point apart from each other in the overalls. Haley and Leclerc went 4-1, 1-4. Haley took the overall by winning the second moto. And Prokop went 3-2. Holm went 2-3, and they all ended up 1 point apart from each other in the final tally. Someone went home without a podium, even though they tied for third. So Prokop coming down right now, 3-lap board, or 3 laps to go. There is no such thing as a 3-lap board, but we have about 40 seconds left on the clock, and unless Prokop literally demolishes the track record by over a minute, we're going to be looking at 3 laps to go here. And I'll tell you what, folks, this race is far from over. Adam Holm has been keeping the man out front honest, and the gap has stayed pretty similar between the two. Whoop, careful. Piccione moving out of the way. Oh, Holm blows the bottom of the hill here, and then goes through his own banners to get back on the track. Talk about marketing, but don't think that's the way he'd like to get it done. Hopping through the bumps. And that gap out to 5 seconds now, so we'll check back in a moment and see where things are at. Kohenauer is down again. Man, this late race absolutely killing him. Blakely still is 6th, 7th, Whiteley 8th. Piccione, who just went a lap down, so Only 7 guys left on the lead lap, and Robert Wilson has been quietly putting on a charge. I don't think Piccioni even knows he's there, and now he might lose a spot to him. Battle out here for P8 on the track. Oh, Wilson just going to give a cheeky look down the inside. I don't think Piccioni wants to race for it, or maybe he does. Sends it back up the inside. Look at this cut under. Tries to pull alongside. Just can't quite get a wheel in there. But Robert Wilson's moved into 8th. Oh, Piccioni down. Simos and Andrade, are they going to get there? Well, that's a precarious spot to try to get back onto the racetrack, but he does so. And here's Simos and Andrade, who are 10th and 11th. And again, you know, just locked together. Jet Wisdom pretty far back, and Leclerc is coming up on these guys, so I actually want to take a peek back up here because let's see, can Leclerc get through them? Well, gonna get by Andrade pretty quickly. Leclerc is 3rd though. So Prokop with 2 laps to go has that big of a lead. What would you say? 3 seconds about there. Let's see what the timing actually tells us. 3.1 seconds. Well, the eye test never fails, as they say. So Holm has clawed this thing down another couple seconds last time by. And it may get interesting here. We'll have to keep an eye on the lap times when the white flag goes out to see whether or not the splits really show us that Holm can catch him or not. Seems as though maybe a mistake from Prokop is what caused the gap to go down a little bit because it's stabilized for the most part. Holm's still trying to double down that inside. It's just so sketchy to me, but he's making it work. Prokop and Holmes, so that is the gap right there. It's close. I just don't see it working in Holmes' favor at the moment. Those gaps haven't come down as quickly as you'd expect them to, with just about a lap left to go here. And Prokop may be on his way to claiming another victory here if he can hang on for one more lap on the hills of the French Riviera. Saint-Jean-d'Angely. Well, Prokop hops off the track. Calm and steady with a re-entry. Just doubling his way up the hill. We got a rider down, though. That was Zach Dupuis, but he's off the racing lines, so nicely done. Holm hasn't given up yet on just trying to catch him on raw speed, but goes off the track on the bottom of the hill, so pushing a little too hard there. Prokop taking it very easy around here. Doesn't want to have something stupid happen, weird fall-off crash or what have you. And Holm, for the time being, has really lost the toe of young Zach Prokop. So through the waves at the top of the hill one more time. Let's see, Prokop, I think. Oh no, still doubling in there, wow. And smoothly. Thought for sure he'd take it easy with one lap to go. And down on by the mechanics area he comes. Couple corners left to go. Not over yet. But this one may be close to the history books as Prokop drops down the hill off the top. He's going to go through 2 more corners and he'll find the checkered flag waving. What a ride for Zach Prokop here. Race number 1 in France. Through the final corner he goes, and Zach Prokop has won race number 1 in the RFGP of France. Adam Holm 2.2 seconds down at the flag. Alexis Leclerc coming through next. Leclerc pretty much all alone in 3rd. Haley still has a slight chance of getting there. And the woulda, shoulda, coulda man, Jeremy Cohenauer. I mean, you can't really be disappointed with 5th, but something tells me Jeremy Konauer is going to be slightly disappointed with 5th out of this one, when really there was quite a bit more on the table for the taking. So Leclerc does cross the line in 3rd. Haley looks like he has got 4th right here, and he does. And Konauer down here, one final time up the hill, and 6th, or I should say 5th place will be his. There it is. And we wait for Chase Blakely. Robert Wilson's already finished, as has Will Whiteley. Anthony Piccioni, debut ride, P9, incredible stuff. Eduardo Simos ends up 10th, 11th Andrade, 12th for Kyler Hockey, so these guys still circulating. Chet Wisdom might get a spot here on Hockey if he was pushing a little harder. Don't think he realized Hockey went down. Now he's kicking himself that he didn't push harder earlier, and now he's going to go down too. And probably give a spot to Chase Donovan. Oh, no, Donovan a little too far back. Casey Ohlert, though, is fighting to the bitter end. Our versus PC one to watch. Let's see, is he going to try some cheeky move here on Donovan? Oh, inside. Up the hill, Donovan crosses over. Whoa, and look at that. Ohlert down the inside, moves by him in the final corner to take the spot. Ends up 14th. Donovan 15th. Specs 16th. 17th right there was Dupuis. 18th for Sean Smith. 19th for Ian Holm. And 20th for Devin Davis. Tommy Dallaire still coming through. And there we go. Cuts are in. Let's take a look if anybody changed positions here. They did not. Oh, no. Holm got the win. Holm got the win. 2.69 seconds of cuts for Zach Prokop has cost him the victory in race number 1. Wow. Adam Holm takes the victory in race number 1 on cuts. Not very often you see that. I'll tell you what, folks, that is incredible right there. By the way, big shout out Anthony Piccioni dropping by chat. He has just finished up in 9th, and he just donated 100 biddies. So thank you, good sir, and congratulations on your debut ride. We are still trying to figure out where in the heck Zach Prokop cut so much of the racetrack. Alrighty, folks, we got a 5-minute break going right now. And for all 38 lovely viewers of you guys out there, you guys got any questions? Anything you'd like me to chat about? I'm open for discussion. This is your 5-minute Ask Kellen Anything, aka Ask Kellen Anything. That's what it's called. Oop, whoopsie days. What's up, Kyle Miller? How you doing? And sometimes I play this game and I feel like, yeah, I remember what this feels like. And then other times I play it and I'm like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing out here. What are my thoughts on the Canadian Pro Moto? Well, it just seems like it's still kind of a S show up there, for lack of a better word. No, I think the Triple Crown Series was a good idea, but right now it doesn't look like it's like exactly working as they'd hoped. Not many guys doing anything but the Nationals. And then last weekend they canceled the second motos because of Thunder, I guess. So, yeah, I don't know. Kind of a weird situation. A lot of talented guys up there though, so it's really fun to kind of watch. But just wish that it was maybe a little bit better run. And yes, I did see, by the way, a new snapshot. Actually, let me pull it up so we can debate about it real quickly. Who do I think wins NA RF Pro Motocross? Heck, I don't know. Go to general disc. We got a 620 or 617 snapshot. We'll zoom in on all the goods here. So he fixed the 2018 RMZ model names. Setup changes are now reported to chat. Rest in peace, Leclerc. Change default erode limit to no limit. Stabilizer now recovers 33% quicker after front wheel contact. So that is basically front wheel lock is 1/3 better. And he has updated the client version, so we'll need that for this week's race. Yay.
It's only a game.
Teach Photo up in here. Subscribing to Tier 1 is second month of subscribing. He was just at my house for 4 days and then went to Beyond the Summit and literally just got home, so. Good to have old Teach Photo around here. Oh, that's interesting. Nick Skaken let me know that Dylan Wright got his win taken away for going off the track and not getting an advantage. It sounds like we have an Adam C. and Cerullo, Justin Cooper soiree going on up there. Anthony Piccioni, whatever your name is. I keep messing it up. I'm sorry. Dropping by with another 100 biddies as he's about to go out for his second moto and his pro debut here tonight. And thus far, it's been a pretty good pro debut. Dang, and Pettis also penalized. So does that mean that Luke Rensland won the moto because Dylan Wright was penalized 5 spots, I'm guessing? And then would Rensland to have the red plate now too, or no? I don't know. I kind of loosely saw the results. I haven't really seen much of the drama going on in Canadian motos, so I guess I can't swear to knowing what's happening, but seemed like a bit of a crapshoot up there this weekend. All right, here we go, folks. Race 2 coming up right now. Ah, we have a lovely Instagram post. Let's get a Canadian moto update right here. Whoop. What happened? Whoops, didn't want to do that. My bad. Official ruling from MRC head referee Paul Kingsley. These riders, Dylan Wright, Jess Pettis, Parker Mashburn, and Ryder Floyd were penalized. So they have 72 hours to appeal. Interesting. Okay. All right. So a little bit of a Canadian motocross update for y'all as we are about to get lined up for race number 2. Warm up lap out there. Sorry. Keep jumping around all over the place. All right. As mentioned, we are picking Kyler Hockey as our versus PC 1 to watch. So Kyler Hockey versus PC 1 to watch race 2. Why? Well, I mean, he donated, so that's part of the reason why. But I don't think I've actually picked him this year, so I wanted to do that. These guys out there for their parade lap. Do they put maple syrup in their gas tank in Canada? Probably. Seen that meme going around lately where it's basically like when the Canadians find out Americans use miles per hour instead of maple syrup per Tim Hortons or whatever. Pretty funny stuff. All right, folks, it's time for race number 2 of the MX1 class. Who's gonna get that race tech whole shot? Something tells me it's gonna come from the man we have on our screen right now. But you never know. Who are we kidding though? Leclerc gets great starts all the time. Pretty hard to bet against him on the starts, but he hasn't got every hole shot this year, so it's not exactly an absolute giveaway. We're gonna find out right now though, as the board is sideways, the revs are up, and the gate is down here in France. Actually, Holm got the jump on Leclerc this time. He's gonna lead him into turn 1 and runs Leclerc off the track. He was out of control on entry. Race tech hole shot goes to Caden Speck for the second moto in a row. So Speck gets the hole shot. Holm is in second. Haley's right there in third. Where, oh where is Zach Prokop? He is right in the mix as well. He's trying to get around Sean Smith. Oh my, Sean Smith, mad skills motocrossing up the hill. Almost yard sailed into Zach Prokop. And things are going off the chains here as Speck has led yet another lap. He led the first lap of the last race too. Now how much longer can he hold on this time? Reminder, Adam Holm has actually won that first moto on cuts. So Prokop's valiant win, kind of all for naught, because Holm was still able to pick it up on cuts. So now he's in a really good position to win the overall, but Haley wants to have a piece of this lead this time too. He's got a good start. Oh, Speck goes down. Oh, and Haley goes off the track trying to avoid him. They're going to go bar to bar over the jump. Holm with a little bike hump action takes over the lead. Holm, Haley, Prokop up out front. Curious to know whether or not Leclerc realized that Holm was just wildly out of control on corner entry, or if he thinks he got punted in the first corner, because we know the history between those two is a vast one. Look at Haley with a peeking little inside, sneaky inside move right there. Look at these three guys though, man. It's incredible. All three of them nose to tail. They all look pretty comfortable racing each other. And Holm made a mistake, went off the track, so that gives Haley the lead. Prokop trying to take a peek as well. But it's Haley, your new leader now. So Holm, despite leading most of that lap, actually, or I guess about half that lap, actually doesn't get credited with a lap led just yet, because Speck did lead that first lap. Haley now leads the second one. Prokop, Holm, and Simo's right in the mix. Kyler Hockey, our versus PC one to watch, is in a pretty good spot. Leclerc, after being down in turn 1, is already up to 6th. That's MX Simulator in a nutshell. Chase Blakely, Tommy Dallaire going side by side down the hill with Anthony Piccioni sliding out at the bottom of the hill. Whoa, Dallaire with a nice save at the top of the hill. Here comes Wilson and Cohenauer. So Cohenauer definitely did not get the start he was hoping for this moto. These guys going almost 3 abreast over the jump right there. Look at Robert Wilson still throwing a little sauce. And then going right off the track. Cohenauer gets a little bit of a twofer right there. So as things are trying to settle down right now, we got to change for the lead. Prokop just got it done on Haley on the off camber. Prokop fired up, coming out here for a vengeance after he was stripped of the first moto victory on penalties. So now third lap in, third different leader. Prokop checks in, new lap leader. Spec, Haley, Prokop. Gonna have Adam Holm lead the fourth lap. Definitely possible. Holm not too far off of these guys. Let's get a little sign of the lap times as the track is still developing. 50.7, 49.8, 48.6 Prokop. These guys are insane right now with the speeds they're running. Haley just lurking right now behind Prokop. Every time I go on board with some of these guys, it's just, I don't get it. I was never a first-person player when I was at the top of my game in this, but even so, I don't get it. Whoa, mistake for Prokop, he went off the track. Haley takes over the lead. Now Adam Holm lurks behind. And as they run, Holm actually would win the overall. Basically, any scenario that Prokop doesn't win this moto probably is going to give Holm the overall, unless Holm drops behind someone for fourth, in which case Haley going 4-1 could win. Oh, battle for the lead looks like it's brewing again. Oh, and as I say that, Prokop goes down. And where is Adam Holm? Did Holm go down too? It appears so. He's just getting going, and Leclerc has gone by. Leclerc has gone by. So once again, these four gentlemen are just going to make finding out who won this overall extremely difficult for us. So as we run, Holm 1-4 to Haley 4-1. Haley has the provisional overall victory not in his grasp, as Zach Prokop on a 2-2 would beat the 4-1. Meanwhile, Leclerc showing his face now. And again, we kind of go back to that start, if you will. Whether or not Leclerc realized Holm was just wildly out of control, or whether or not I guess he cares either. But again, this would switch the overalls a little bit if Leclerc can go run down Prokop. And oddly enough, if Leclerc runs down Prokop, we literally have the exact same scenario we had at High Point last week, where all these guys are 1 point apart, and the only difference maker is that Holm and Haley would have moto victories, which means they are the ones that have one extra point in the overall tally, and they would be tied for the overall victory, which they currently are. Haley does not have the overall victory in grasp, though, because Prokop going 2-2 has a 1 point lead on them. But Leclerc wants to change that stat if he can. This is gonna be awesome, though. Go to WW Ranch on Wednesday. If these guys just continue doing this, I'd be satisfied with that. Guess works out in Holm's favor, though, because literally nothing gained here. Leclerc, even if he passes Prokop, doesn't gain anything on Holm in the championship today. So these guys are just running nose to tail. Kyler Hockey still is in fifth, by the way. Not for long, though. Kohnauer goes down the inside, makes that move. Kohnauer's looking to go 5-5 today. Again, very, very good day for Jeremy Kohnauer, but leading 22 minutes of the first moto and then going 5-5 is like, it's just really a kick in the nuts, I'll tell you that much. Something happened to Prokop. Okay, so Prokop went down because Leclerc's up to second now. Holm's up to third. And this puts Holm in basically the catbird seat to win the overall victory. The only thing that will change that is Leclerc running down Haley for the lead and winning the moto. So long as Holm doesn't get better than third, Leclerc wins the overall. But again, so many ifs and whats because we're only 10 minutes into this moto and we just saw Prokop crash out of second. So those guys still have plenty of crashing left to do, and Jeremy Kohenauer, who was the fastest man on the track for 22 minutes in the first moto, might be doing the same thing right now. In fact, let's get a sign of the lap times this time by with Kohenauer going through. We're going to take a look, see where everything's stacking up. He did a 50.6 last time by, but something tells me he's going a little faster this time. Nope, 50.6. Well, consistency is key. 59.8 Prokop, 50 flat Adam Holm, 49.5 Leclerc, and a 51.2 for Haley. So just when I thought Prokop, I should say Kohenauer, may be going the fastest on the track, he is not. It is still Leclerc. Let's go back to Simos in 6th here, and Blakely in 7th, just ahead of Andrade in 8th. So kind of these guys trying to be best of the rest today, it seems. Those top 5 guys have it pretty well sorted. And Blakely likely going to be the guy that ends up in that position. Andrade and Simos having a little bit of a Brazilian sandwich right now. Great rides for both the riders out of Brazil, though. 10-11 first moto. Right now they are 6 and 8. And the 74 here of Andrade is just putting the pressure on Chase Blakely. He's not letting him go anywhere. Kyler Hockey, our versus PC one to watch, is in P9 still, and he's got a nice, sizable gap all the way back to Caden Speck, who is in 10th. Will Whiteley is in 11th. 12th for Devin Davis. 13th for Casey Ohlert. 14th is Tommy Dallaire. 15th is Caleb Hall. 16th is Jet Wisdom. 17th is Robert Wilson. Not any longer. He goes to 16th. 18th for Zach Dupuis. 19th for Chase Donovan. And 20th, a much rougher moto this time for Anthony Piccioni, who had a good start. It's not worked out in his favor, and Ian Holm is trying to bump him out of the points. That gap for the lead is coming down, though. 47 freaking 2 last time out of Leclerc. That's qualifying lap speed right there. And he's got the gap down to 4.3. Goodness, just watching this guy go to work is insane. He's already got the gap under 2 seconds. 48.2 to a 50.8. I mean, guys, Jack Haley is running laps that almost nobody else is doing out front. It's just that Leclerc is going, 2 seconds a lap faster. Easy. And again, as mentioned, this would flip the overall victory in the favor of Alexis Leclerc here. So when I thought things are going pretty well for Adam Holm, suddenly we reached a bit of a danger zone. He is only going to even out on points as we run. However, it was looking a little better than that not too long ago. Oh, Leclerc loses traction. Oh, not a place you want to do it at all either. Look at how much time he just lost. Over 2 seconds. Just on a little rear end kick. Konauer has been keeping Prokop honest this moto. Blakely's got 6 to himself now as Andrade and Simos faltered a little bit. Here's Kyler Hockey. Got a request to go on board with him. Whoa. Has to avoid the down Simos, I believe that was. So he's still holding down 9th. Whoa, and not any longer. He's holding down the world as he's upside down on his head there. Devin Davis powers through. And Hockey now drops down to 12th, so he lost a spot to Simos and Speck in the process. There's actually a little 3-rider grouping right here. Oh, and Simos goes down. Here come the crashes. So it's interesting, just as quickly as Leclerc got to Haley, it seems like it's almost even back out again. Haley's done pretty well, it seems, to respond to the pressure. And Leclerc has kind of lost ground, even from not only that rear end slip mistake, but even some more ground than that. I think Haley's gap is now over 5 seconds by the looks of it. Leclerc at this point, I think, is just going to go back to what he was doing before, which is essentially qualifying laps. Going to try his absolute best to reel that gap down. Adam Holm is about 10 seconds behind him as well, I would say. Oh, that's not going to help. Big off from Adam Holm. Prokop goes through. And Konauer is nowhere to be seen, but Prokop going by is a pretty big deal. That will definitely flip the tides towards Leclerc. 3-2 versus a 1-4 still doesn't get it done, but if Leclerc can go run down Jack Haley, which he's starting to do once again, suddenly we have a whole different ball game for this overall. About 12 and a half minutes left to go here. Go back on board with Leclerc because that gap is starting to come down again. 50.5. 49.5, but again, Leclerc had a bad lap last time by, and look at the speed he carries down that hill. Incredible save. Back up the hill he goes, and now they gap out to 5 seconds, so little mistakes here and there are starting to cost the old #1 machine. So 51.3 to a 50.7. Again, that gap goes out a little bit. It's so weird because it just seems like Leclerc, every Every time we see him, he's clawing away the seconds, and then you look at the lap times, and it's really not the case. So 5.1 second lead for Jack Haley. Zach Prokop, oh, just went down. Is Adam Holm gonna go through? Well, about 1 billion lapped riders go through. And no, Holm will not go through, although Prokop is taking just a second too long to get going here. So Holm trying to close it down. Again, as we run, Jack Haley is in line for the overall victory, and it really comes down to who wins this moto, it seems. Because Haley wins and Holm finishes 4th, then Haley wins the overall. If Leclerc wins and Holm finishes 3rd or worse, then Leclerc wins the overall. And if Holm can get up to 2nd, it doesn't matter. Well, unless Prokop goes up and wins the race too, but there's just so many different scenarios trying to be played out here, and I just don't see the situation where Holm gets to the lead happening. These guys are pretty far gone. Tight-knit battles through the field, though. You can see Prokop trying to get around Dallaire. Dallaire not too far behind Piccioni. There's Cohenauer at the top of the hill, then Chase Blakely not too far behind him. So Blakely trying to be better than 6th best today. He wants to be 5th best. And he's been bringing Andrade with him this entire time. Will Whiteley's all by himself. Caden Speck, Kyler Hockey versus PC1 to watch. Ohlert from the first Moto versus PC1 to watch. Simo's yard sales. Ian Holm might get him. Let's see. Ian Holm coming down the hill. Gonna make the not pass on Simos. Well, he got right to him. And in the end, Simos holds on, but now they're in a bit of a battle. Dropping back down the hill. Oh, that's gonna come unglued real quickly. Ian Holm yard sales with a big old swap down the hill. So Dallaire might get to him, but Dallaire's trying to be cautious and let our leaders go through. So here comes Ian Holm, about to be lapped by Adam Holm. Dallaire and Donovan. Piccioni still in a pretty good spot to maybe score some good points. He's up to 16th, right behind Donovan in 15th. And Dallaire was down, so actually goes to 15th, and we'll have Donovan just ahead of him for 14th now. Caleb Hall also went through on the 561. Then Dallaire gets going. Sean Smith is down. So did Zach Dupuis just get a spot, or? Yes, he did. Okay, Sean Smith was... I didn't realize which side of the track Sean Smith was off in. And Robert Wilson is still 20th. Devin Davis is out of this moto, as is Jet Wisdom and Jeremy Siebold. So everybody still circulating the racetrack right now is going to score points. What kind of points? Still to be determined. So 2 separate battles, just like we had at High Point to watch. And they both determine overall victories. If Holm can go catch Prokop and pass him, he wins the overall. If Leclerc can go catch Haley, he wins the overall. And if Haley holds on out front and Holm does not catch Prokop, he wins the overall. So 3 different guys, 3 different scenarios. One of them is going to win this overall victory. Who it is, we really have no idea, because same way at High Point it kind of shook down. It's really shaken down here right now. A little bit different gaps kind of established. Leclerc sitting on a 3-1 to Prokop's 2-3. So actually no, it is the same gaps. So Prokop's 2-3. Unfortunately for Prokop, if he didn't get those cuts in the first moto, he actually would be in line for the overall right now. Instead, he's actually looking at going 2-3 and finishing 4th overall. The dreaded scenario nobody wants to have. So all that makes sense for all of you guys. 4-1 for Haley. We'll give him 43 points. And winning the second moto beats the 1-4 for Holm, who also would get 43 points, but they tie, and Haley gets the tiebreaker on the better second moto. Then Leclerc, who's looking to go in 3-2, will get 42 points, so 1 point behind Haley. Better second moto than Prokop, who's going 2-3, also gets 42 points, ends up 4th behind Leclerc because Leclerc is having the better second moto. It's literally the exact same scenario that played out at High Point. The only difference is Haley and Leclerc split motos at High Point. This time it's going to be Holm and Haley splitting motos. And the only constant, as it runs at least, is Haley will have won both overalls. But man, what a weird couple of weeks of racing we've had here, that these guys have been this close week in and week out. The racing's been honestly not the best because there hasn't been a lot of dicing and passing. They've just kind of been around each other a lot. But when you look at the scores at the end of the day, to see it shake down the way it has, it's incredible. And Prokop was actually the benefactor of going 3-2 at High Point for 3rd overall. This time he's going to go 2-3 for 4th overall. Ooh, wow, look at Leclerc pile driving Will Whiteley. Guess it makes sense because suddenly he is right on the back tire of Jack Haley. We've got a little over 3 minutes and 2 laps left to go here. And suddenly we have a brand new battle for the overall shaping up here. Leclerc passes Haley. He wins the overall. Pretty cut and dry because I don't think Holm is going to get to Haley before this one is over with the gaps established the way they are. So Haley will be the buffer. Leclerc goes 3-1. Nobody could do better than that. Leclerc hopping through the bumps there, dropping down the hill. 50.1 to a 57.4, so Haley definitely had a big problem last time by. And Leclerc really pushes in the envelope, and they're definitely coming up to the worst string of lappers that has existed this entire race. Not a lot of riders on many sections of the track except for this grouping of 6-7 guys ahead of him or so. Then it really opens up. There's not much else going on around the racetrack right now. But this battle for the lead is tightening up. 3 laps to go right now. Leclerc would love to take a home GP victory if he can. I think in his mind he's just like, give me some more points toward this championship. That's not going to help his case though. Second time that Leclerc has gotten pretty close to the lead and has made a mistake, and this time it may have just cost him the victory, the overall, points towards home in the championship, a whole host of things. Oh, look at what happened here. Holm has got back around Zach Prokop. Zach Prokop has gone back down, and suddenly it's flipped again. Holm is in position to win the overall as we run. 1-3 beats a 4-1, which also beats a 3-2 and a 2-4. So Holm not only in a position where he's gaining points, may just well have solidified an overall victory here on Leclerc's soil, no less. This got to be interesting because I think this would be the first time Adam Holm has raced a race in France in Sim. I'm trying to think of another time that he would have done that. I don't think he was around when we used to have the French Championship. Remember those races fondly, though. They were good times. I'm pretty sure I won a moto back then in the French Championship. Either way, I don't think Holm has actually raced a French race before. So this is going to be kind of funny to see that he'll probably snag top step of the podium against his rival. Alexis Leclerc. So Holm is in a really good spot here because Prokop is nowhere close anymore. In fact, Blakely is a lot closer to Prokop than he's been basically the entire race. Prokop looks like he's kind of just throwing a little bit of caution to the wind here. He knows that it's not really going to get anywhere out of this. Everything's kind of settled down. 2 laps to go. Nothing really too close or frantic going on. Kohenauer is a lap down. He is in 6th. Andrade behind them in 7th. Caden Speck coming through in 8th. 9th for Kyler Hockey, our versus PC one to watch, about to get lapped by Adam Holm. 10th is Will Whiteley. 11th Casey Euler. 12th Ian Holm. 13th Eduardo Simos. 14th for Chase Donovan. 15th for Robert Wilson, 16th for Anthony Piccioni, 17th for Dallaire, 18th for Sean Smith, 19th for Zach Dupuis. Did I count wrong? I did. Sorry, 20th for Zach Dupuis. Still circulating 8 seconds behind Sean Smith. So I missed Caleb Hall, actually. He was the man missing. And Robert Wilson going after Chase Donovan. This might be our closest battle on track. Donovan jumping through a little bit of Jason Felke banners. Wilson trying to hop down the hill behind him. Swings into the corner. Whoa, and lays it down. Pushing a little hard there was the 56 of Wilson. Oh, and Donovan almost loses the rear end on exit there. So these two having a nice little battle. Oh, Donovan gets a kick on that double. Suddenly Wilson right back on his back tire. Oh, and Wilson goes down. So there goes that battle. Ooh, Older actually is a lap behind Blakely. I apologize. Hockey also putting Sean Smith a lap down. Will Whiteley just ahead of Hockey, so Hockey has something to go after. Andrade, Speck, Kohenauer, Prokop all by himself. So Blakely's gotten around Prokop. Blakely's up into 5th now. Or I should say 4th. So Blakely's having a really good second moto here. 6-4 for him. Should be 5th overall. Especially Kohenauer having a bit of a rougher go this time. Holm 3rd. Leclerc 2nd. And Haley continues to lead. So it's going to be a little too short for Haley this time. Wins the second moto. He's becoming the new El Chupacabra out here. He is just crushing it in these second motos. But when all is said and done, as mentioned, little too late. Either way, sure he'll be pretty excited with this second race victory because he definitely had to work for it, fighting off the challenges from Leclerc. And Jack Haley has won race 2 at the RFGP of France. Leclerc crashes. 2 corners to go. I don't think Holm is going to get to him, but Leclerc trying to get going again. If he falls off again, that would allow Holm through. Oh, Leclerc and Caden Speck nearly came together there. Speck's just trying to make it to the line. He's probably going to get 6th here, 7th, I think. 7th. How about it, though? Adam Holm brings it down to the line, and the winner of the RFGP of France, Adam Holm, technically speaking, never actually crossed the line as a winner today. Finished 2nd in the first race, but was awarded the victory on penalties. And then gets 3rd in the second moto to go 1-3 for the overall victory. Extends his points lead in the championship as well. That's very crucial. Then Blakely and Cohen, or I should say, and Prokop. Last of our lead lappers coming through. Only 5 dudes finished this race on the lead lap. That was quite a divulge of the field. So Blakely crosses the line 4th. Great second moto. Gonna get 5th overall. Gonna beat Kohenauer's 5-6 at the end of the day. And Prokop taking his time. He's gonna get 5th no matter what, as 6th has been lapped. So Prokop sending it up the hill, sending it down the hill. He's gonna get 5th right there. Again, 6th was Kohenauer, 7th was Speck, 8th Andrade, 9th Whiteley, 10th Hockey, 11th Oler, 12th for Holm, Ian of Ian Variety, 13th Simmons, 14th Donovan, 15th was Wilson, 16th Hall, 17th Piccioni, 18th Dallaire, 19th was Dupuis, and 20th was Sean Smith. Here comes Simmons, cuts are in, nothing behind him. And nothing in front of him. So, Haley wins the second moto. Adam Holm has won the RFGP of France. And that is going to do it for us, ladies and gentlemen, here in France for the day. Adam Holm, your victor. Thanks so much for joining us for another round of Race Factor Gaming Grand Prix Series. And we'll see you guys on Wednesday night for all the racing action from WW Ranch. So, see you guys then.